Today I'm going to be playing Stardew Valley, but as someone who has never made it past year 1. I've never been to Ginger Island, I've never even gotten an auto putter, and even though I have almost 600 hours in this game, I just keep restarting. Well, no more. This time we're gonna finish. Here are the next 6 days of Stardew Valley. I'm going to let you know right now, I have a little bit of a cold, so I do apologize for any of that, or any of the sounding of my voice that sounds horrible, but welcome back to my channel. I'm so glad that you are here, so let's get straight into the game that we all love and enjoy. We start day 4 as we always do. I got a letter from the Hat Mouse telling me she sells hats. I love a good hat. I'll have to see her sometime. And then I went over to grab some tools. My pick and my watering can to be exact. The pick I used to break rocks. I didn't want any of my crops to get damaged. I know that's a thing. The watering can I used for its intended purpose, to water my crops. They should be almost ready. I was then going to go to the mines, only to remember they aren't open yet. So I decided to go fishing. I know. What do? I need money and fishing seems to be the best way to do it. I, of course, made an effort to check the local trash cuisine to see if it was to my liking. We found nothing. We then went to the beach to catch some beach fish for a change, only to see a clam and a worm spot. I stared at it longingly as I contemplate on going back for my hoe. After realizing how much time fishing I would lose, I decided not to go back for my hoe, no matter how badly I wanted to. I did see another clam to get and yet another worm spot. Man, I swear this game is telling me to go get it, but yet I decided to stay on my fishing grind. I really need the money. I then went into Willie's shop and spent all of it. I bought a trout soup, the fiberglass rod, and bait. 10 of those were eel bait. So excited, I eat my trout soup and I put it on my rod to go catch my first eel. Only to realize that they didn't start spawning until 4 p.m. Rip to the 2 eel bait I used when I shouldn't have. Finally, I caught the right fish with the right bait, resulting in me catching a halibut, a herring, and a flounder. We also leveled up in fishing again. I continued to fish until my inventory got full. And then I sold all my fish to Willie, who sold me another trout soup and bait in return, and then I repeat the process until it's time for bed. When I do get home, I sell all my fish and put away my stuff for the anticipation of going mining tomorrow. Well, after that, I couldn't just leave those worm spots. I just couldn't do it. So I went back to get them. I got gold out of one, and a dried starfish out of the other. While still at the beach, I decided to do a little bit more fishing. When I do finally make it home, it's 12:30 and sleeping brings 2 levels in fishing and 1,500 gold. Walking out of my house on day 5 after watching the news, a lady named Marnie came to my doorstep with a cute little cat who needed a home. It took me a minute to think of a name suitable for this little tabby baby. I finally decided on the name Sweet Pea. Checking my mail, I got a letter from Robin apologizing for what she said. Seems like Lewis was right because she tried to sell me a house upgraded in the next page. I also got letters from Willie and a company named Joja. After that, I noticed our parsnips were ready. I picked them, filled our watering can, and then watered the rest of the crops. We then collected our supplies and headed to the mines. We stopped to check the trash like a little raccoon before going though. You can't keep my little raccoon hands off the trash cans. Before officially going to the mines, I realized I had enough to get the first backpack upgrade. This will help me be the loot goblin of my dreams. I can also stay longer than I would have before. Thank you, Pierre. I also gave Pierre's wife Caroline a daffodil, and for some reason, unbeknownst to me, I sold 6 of my parsnips to Pierre before I left for the mines. In the mines, we find a man named Marlin, but I skipped that cutscene and got my sword. I guess I was just excited to get into the mines. Floors 1 and 2 were okay getting down. Floor 3 though, I had to clear almost the whole thing before finding my way down, taking a toll on my energy. On floor 4, I found my first official copper from the mines and a piece of quartz. Going down to floor 5, there were a bunch of monsters. After fighting for my life, I gained a cherry bomb from a rock crab. That should be helpful. Finally, after breaking every rock there was, I found my way down to level 6. After having some trouble and finding the way down, I ended up eating a few of my parsnips and some spring onions for some extra energy so I didn't pass out. After eating, I found out at some point I ended up getting a new weapon. It's a wooden club with 9 to 16 damage and also has the extra benefit of being a slime slayer. In some hopeful moment of getting down to floor 10, I used my cherry bomb to conserve energy. I also used my last bomb on level 7 to get a bunch of copper. I was so low on energy, I ate almost all of my food, and then I finally found my way down to level 7. On level 7, I found an amethyst in a cave carrot and a random barrel. I ended up having to eat more food to find the way down. The loot goblin in me could not turn down the copper though. I finally did end up making my way down to level 10. We found some cool leather boots that gave us a little bit of protection. We finally did start making our way home in the dead of night, and for whatever reason, unbeknownst to me, I went the long way around. Why did I do this? I lied. I needed to go to the community center to look at the plaque, just for me to be able to start on that. While sleeping, we leveled up in both farming and mining. Scarecrows and cherry bombs were the important recipes that we learned. Waking up on day 6, we have letters from Marlin, Robin, and the Wizard. Gosh, I'm actually popular for the first time in my life. We also got a letter from our dad. He sent us a little bit of spending money. I went into my chest and got my watering can and some things that said something about Gunther knowing more. I was going to turn some things in there so I can get that started too. I made my way down to the bottom of the farm through Cindersap just to go see the wizard before the rest of the town woke up. When we got to the wizard's, he told us to come in, showed us the thing we had seen in the community center, and then made us drink this drink that did not sit well with us. The next thing I know, I black out and wake up later on. Did he drug me? Perhaps. After shaking off the drugs, I went foraging. I did get my first level up for it too. After foraging, I ran into Willie, Jas, and Vincent. Who I clobbered with my club. I didn't abuse any children. I don't know what you're talking about. I also ran into the teacher, Penny. Let's not tell her about Vincent. Or maybe we should. He might need medical attention. After we saw Penny, we met up with Shane. No, I'm just kidding. I know the muscle crusher's name. It's Sebastian. When we finally get to the library, I met with a cutscene with Gunther where he tells us the previous guy stole every single piece they had. He did ask me for a favor though. I get things for the things I bring him. That sounds great. I'm very gift motivated. I put all my things in the cases for him to take an extra look at, and I grab my gifts and go. I go straight to Clint's to talk to Lewis and to get Clinton to break open a few geodes just to see if they have anything else I could donate. I did get lucky with a few things, so I ran back over to donate them. I got a drumbeat block from this. I don't know what all that does. I did end up getting another 250 gold for my journal for completing the quest. I also did run into Pam, who happened to just yell at me for trash, but I dig through the trash. I don't make it. I did end up going to Pierre's to talk to Abigail, Caroline, and Pierre himself, but the thing is, apparently I'm not allowed to have this club. You see, I wish I could say that she was my last victim. While I was wandering around, I walked by the community center, which made me peek into my inventory to go ahead and put some stuff in there. Today is the kind of day where everything is being done, I guess. We had all but one of the spring forage bundle. That dang leak was the one thing holding me back. I did donate a single cave carrot as well. After the community center, this happened. Yeah, I know, but she deserves it from last episode. On the way to the farm, I find the worm spot, a daffodil, and the infamous leek. Now I can go finish the community center. When I got to the farm, I instantly planted those cauliflower seeds. I didn't water them though, I was too focused on going back for that worm spot. After getting the worm spot, I ended up going back to Gunther's to donate yet more stuff. We were pretty lucky with the amount of stuff we were able to get today. After doing that, we ran into Harvey. I don't like him. Every time I see him, I think of this guy from a movie and book series called The Lovely Bones. I went to the community center to donate the final leak to complete the bundle. This unlocks 3 new bundles for us to work on. I was so excited because, for whatever reason, in my mind, I was thinking I was getting my first star. I followed them and I waited, and waited, and waited, until I realized they were not coming with my star. I just simply am disappointed. I started on my way home digging through some trash, and then I shook hands with Marnie. She seems like the handshake type. I hit a random worm spot giving me a prehistoric hand axe. This is another thing we can donate. Since it was still early, I had almost full energy. I decided to clean up more space on the farm. Once I had used almost all my energy, I watered the seeds that I had found and put everything away before heading up to bed for the night. We did have one level up in foraging, bringing us to level 2. We learned how to make a charcoal kiln. Will that be useful? I don't know. I've never used one before. Waking up on day 7, we checked to see who we were missing with meeting to finish the Meet the Town quest. We are missing Sam and Demetrius. How I have never talked to them, I have no clue. I decide this day I will go back to what I know, fishing. After watering our plants, I head up to talk with Demetrius for the first time. One down, one to go. I decided that since I'm already close by, I will fish in the lake by their house. I eat my trout soup and get to work. At some point, I get a pop-up telling me that there's a frenzy in the forest. I decided to go run and find it. Only, I couldn't seem to find it. I never saw any bubbles or anything. And then, I did something that confused me. I don't know why, but I went and pulled a potato out of my selling box? I can't remember why. Finally, I see why I did this. Marnie. Marnie has a hankering for a potato. Then I started talking to everyone I saw, one of them being Sam. We finished that quest. We went to see Marnie and gave her the potato that she was hankering for. She was pleased with us and gave us 240 gold. For whatever reason, I went to go see Lewis. He wanted to show us this machine that he had in his house. We would get tickets for doing things for the community, and the tickets went to this machines to be able to win fun prizes. I love prizes. I went to Willie's shop to stock up on bait so I wouldn't run out with all the fishing I wanted to do. I did buy some deluxe bait to see if that would help me catch fish or maybe just change the quality. I don't know. I didn't read. It can't just be useless, right? Luckily for me, I had a bubble spot that would help me even more. The first cast was an instant hook. We did end up leveling up and fishing yet again. After that, we also got our first achievement in the mother catch. After I was done fishing for the night, I decided to give Willie a gift of fish, allowing us to complete yet another quest. It rewarded us with 100 gold. I realized I could have sold the fish for more, but We did end up finding Lewis to give him a leek. He loved it. Now we have a heart with both Marnie and Lewis. At home, we sell almost everything in our inventory for some extra money. I know that strawberry seeds will be important. We did end up running out of space in our chest, which led us to go into organization mode. Going to sleep, we leveled up in fishing to level 5. This prompts us to have a choice between Fisher or Trapper. The Fisher perk that allows us to sell our fish for 25% more, or the Trapper perk that allows us to craft crack pots for cheaper. I think we both know the right choice for this one. That night we made some good money too. We made a whole 1,400 gold. 1,467 to be exact. On day 8, we picked a single potato, tilled the land, and planted new seeds. After doing all that, we collected what I needed, and I headed over to the mines. On level 11, it took me a second to find my way down, due to it becoming an infested floor. I had to fight my way out. Floor 12 was also an infested floor. It was overrun with slimes. After finding my way down, level 13 became infested too. I guess it must have been a bad luck day and I had not realized. I was scared to die and lose my stuff, so the moment one of those bugs opened up the way down, I took it. Somehow on floor 14, that was my lucky number. It starts going smoother from here on out. I found the hole down to 15 on the first piece of copper. After collecting everything on 15, I made my way down to 16. $17, and then 18. Unfortunately, 18 is where I ended. I could not find the way down before running out of both time and energy. Going to sleep, I ended up leveling up in combat. This is our first level. Only 9 more to go. After waking up on day 9, we watered our crops and head straight down to the mines. I was determined to get to at least floor 20. Luckily, floor 15 was easy to find the way, and 16 already had the way opened. We gathered our materials for that first floor before going down. After collecting the materials on floor 17, 18, and 19, we finally make our way to floor 20. We got a chest and end up with a small reward of a small steel sword. Unfortunately, after looking at the stats, I come to the realization that my club is just better. So I guess people are still just gonna get whacked. There's also a fishing spot here. I'll have to make sure to come back later. I did take a small peek on floor 21 before heading over to the guild and selling that small sword for extra cash. Heading back home, I did pick up a quest for copper ores for Clint, and then we also talked and whacked people before going down to the beach to check for some forage there. Going down to the beach, we found a cockle and a oyster. Very good things. We also found a worm spot that we didn't end up digging up because we didn't have our hoe. This is also where I get to show you my proof of finding that complete breakfast in Gus's trash can. I could not believe it. That was an insane find. I had to double and triple check that thing. We also ended up trying to talk to Marnie, and she kinda got whacked, almost. She got really close to being whacked. But she just walked a little faster than I could hit, so she's spared for the day. After that, I give Cindersap Forest one last glance over before heading home for some inventory management. Inside the house, I pet Sweet Pea before going to bed. Sleeping brings us a level up in mining, and the recipe for staircases. This one is going to be a useful one. Thank you guys all for watching. I hope you enjoyed it. The next episode we will do from day 10 to day 20. I cannot wait to see your comments. So if this is your vibe, please subscribe. I love you guys. I'm so glad you exist, and I will see you all later. Bye.